This video could save you life because what I'm about to tell you is pretty freaking scary about NoFap. Now, I just watched a show on TV about a man who had fantasies, perverted fantasies, and he had sexual urges. And it got to the point where he had to act on it. And what he fantasized about were little children. So when I was 16, I started fapping, and my fantasies were very innocent back then. I just thought about, interaction with normal girls close to my age. But the more I thought about my fantasies, the more I fueled them and watered them with my attention, and the more I realized that the more I watered them and thought about them, I needed more of a sting. I needed more of a high. So what made the fantasy more fueled was by making the fantasy more taboo, more shocking, and to get the same effect. And that's what happens with any addict. They have to increase the dose, they have to increase the taboo, they have to increase the perversion if they're a sex addict. And so a lot of people are walking around right now with these fantasies, and they've gotten out of control and they can't stop it. They're constantly thinking about their fantasies, and they're getting darker by the day because they're constantly thinking about it. And they also believe that they can't control their thoughts. So you're literally inviting in demons when you think that way. This life is a spiritual battle for your soul. You have a demon on one shoulder, you have an angel on the other. And yes, that's an allegory or an analogy, but it's very close to the truth. And the more you think about your fantasies and give them attention, they're going to get stronger and stronger to the point where you will be like this guy who had to act on his fantasy. He couldn't contain it anymore. He had to act, and he killed that little girl. And I've heard other stories that are very similar. There was one guy who turned himself in to the police because he said he was going to act out on his fantasies. He was going to murder. So if you're playing around with your thoughts and your fantasies, and you're watching porn and you're fapping, just know that if you have any slight addictive personality within you, it's going to get worse over time. And I haven't watched porn for a couple years, and I started watching it just a couple days ago because it's insidious and it can sneak back in. And because I'm home alone and the thoughts crept in, I could get away with watching a little porn right now, and those little thoughts lead back to the full-blown addiction eventually. And it's scary because what we watch, what we look at on the internet can be traced. You don't know he's going to knock on your door if you do certain things. And that's just one risk. Prison is a risk. Death is you could die trying to, utilize your fantasies, live them out, whatever. You could die from AIDS. You can die from many different, sexually transmitted diseases. You could get killed by the fathers. You could go to prison for life. So you might think that fantasies are harmless, and they might be in the beginning, like my fantasies were when I was 16, but I know for certain that over the years, my fantasies have gotten bigger, they've gotten more taboo, they've gotten risque, because I crave excitement, I crave adrenaline, I crave dopamine, just like any other addict out there. Just because I stop doing something doesn't mean it goes away forever. It might lay dormant, and you don't know what's inside of you. Deep down, you don't know what's still there. And it crept back in my life. So the other day I watched porn, and I was like, this is wicked stuff. Even the porn industry has gotten more vicious and violent. Porn in the 70s was nothing. It was regular sex. Today, it looks like a torture fest. So you tell me why it's gotten more violent over the years. Sex shouldn't be violent. It should actually be for people who are in love. That was the original, reason to make love. And now it's distorted and perverted, and Satan is just laughing because that's what he wants to do to us. And that's my message today. Watch your fantasies. When you have a thought that's, full of lust or perversion, you have to capture it right away and turn your will over to God and be like, God, please erase these lustful thoughts. Please forgive me for being a sinner. Please forgive me for having these lustful thoughts. Please take away the perversion. And because these are literally demons. There's a guy named Derek Prince, and he deals with demons. I think he passed away, but he has books on casting out demons. Demons are called by what they represent. So there is a demon of lust. There's a demon of perversion. There's a demon of infidelity. There's a demon of anger and hatred and violence. So if you want to cast out the demons, I would first water fast, and then I'd say, by the blood of Jesus Christ, demon of lust, get out of me. By the authority of Jesus Christ, demon of lust, get out of me now. You do that enough. Call out all the demons and fast and wipe that crap clean from your conscience, and you will save your life, literally. So that's it. I hope this helps. Please, guys, this is life or death. It really is.